saw her up on stage just a few minutes ago in our top performers. Please welcome to the stage, Dina Rico. I have some super fans out there. That's kind of feeling pretty special. Well, ladies, are you so excited?
Yes.
Gentlemen. Well, I think before we get started, it's time to get our Stampin' lips on.
All right.
Gotta get extra glossy so you can even see it in the cheap seats. All right. So I am so excited to be stamping with you guys today. Are you over our catalog? Oh, that was scary. I was very fortunate to have a little bit of a sneak peek of the products that I'm going to demonstrate when I was at the home office back in May for my $1 million trip. Yeah. So one of the things that you get to do when you go to the home office is you get a product sneak peek of products that are coming out, and one of the products that they showed me was the whole mega suite, and I seriously was so excited. I really think the only way you can describe this as orgasmic. So, when Shannon called and mentioned that I could demonstrate this mega suite, I kind of thought this is what it might be. So I was really over the moon, and here's why. So one of the other perks of being a $1 million achiever is that you get to design your own stamp set. And I have loved Poppies for many, many years. And I really wanted a Poppy set. This is not my $1 million set, by the way. But when I was at the home office and we were talking about my ideas, of course, this was already in the works. It was pretty much done. And so it wasn't a set that I could help design. So my Poppies were kind of out the door. So that was a little sad for me. But when she said I could demonstrate them here, that almost made up for it. So I'm very, very excited. Okay, so let me start by sharing with you some of the really great things that you can do with this set for every level of customer that you have. And actually, let me back up and tell you just a second about me. So I've been a demonstrator for 20 years, and I have transitioned my completely in-person business to a completely online business. And in doing so, I just took the things that I was doing in person and started doing them online. So it was a very natural transition for me. And I started reaching more and more people, and I really enjoyed being able to kind of expand my stamping circle with so many more people across the country and even world, which is so humbling and wonderful. But all of what I do is what I started doing in person. So what I'm sharing with you today is things I do online, but you can do in person or online, whatever works for you. Okay, the other thing that I want to mention is that when we plan classes, I think we often think of the kind of classes that we personally would like to take. And most of us probably want classes that are very much geared towards the avid crafter, right? Yeah, okay. But our customers are probably not quite at the same stamping skill level that we are, right? So don't forget about those beginning stampers and provide them some really great projects that are easy to do. And what I found is that even our very, very seasoned stampers really enjoy working with those types of projects themselves. They're quick, they're easy, they're fun, there's not a lot of thought that goes into it, so it works out great. So my first projects are definitely going to showcase that kind of thing. So I'm going to start by sharing with you a class that I would run for beginning stampers. And this class is going to be, it's going to be a product-based class, so I would include in it the Peaceful Poppies Print Designer Series paper. I would include a package of the Memories and More cards and envelopes from the annual catalog, and then the roll of the new Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon. I love that the name is on here so I don't have to remember. Okay, so these memory and more cards are really great because they come in 2 sizes, and they also come with coordinating envelopes. So the prep is very minimal for you. So I would teach my customers how to cut cardstock. I find that is actually a skill not many of them have. So learning how to cut a piece of 4x6 printed paper, and then all we're going to do is adhere it to the memories and more cards. So that's pretty easy. So I'll take and put a little glue on here. And I live in the Midwest where you just can't use snail because it's too humid and my cards fall apart. So I love liquid glue. So I'm just going to place that on here. I must turn around, don't I? Is that better? Okay, so I've adhered my piece of printed paper, and look at how beautiful this is. The paper does so much for you, so it's really wonderful. All right, now I'm going to take, and in prepping for this class, you as the demonstrator, the only thing that you need to do is provide your customers with some pre-die cut pieces. And I would include the 2 sizes of labels from the frame or the dies, and then they can just stamp their sentiments on here. So the only prep work I have to do is die cutting these pieces for them ahead of time. I also find that die cutting ahead of time allows you to have much smoother classes where people aren't waiting constantly to die cut things, and they get out of your house faster that way. Okay, so we'll take some of this new ribbon. Now, one of the things you might be aware of when holding any kind of class is the inventory status report, right? I mean, I watch that thing like a hawk. So having a little backup plan is a really good thing to do in order to make sure your events run smoothly. So I'm just going to tie a little bow with this ribbon, kind of like what Shannon showed earlier. Snip that off. And then I'm going to adhere it to my card and put that label right over the top. I forgot glue dots, so this mini dimensional will work just fine. Okay, so I'll just put this on here like so, and then I'll pop my label right over the top of it, so it's really easy. Okay, so that's my card. It's so simple. Now, coming back to the inventory status report. Should this ribbon go on back order and not be available when I'm going to hold my event, I can easily switch to something out of the annual catalog that's probably going to be available. So a great substitution is our black satin ribbon. It's really beautiful and it adds a great punch, just like this new white ribbon does. So let me show you the cards that I would have. Oh, actually, there's one more thing. Don't forget about the envelopes. We have these beautiful envelopes that coordinate. So I'm going to take and decorate my envelope by putting a little glue on here. And then all I have to do is cut it off. Now, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like it's a little bit of a sacrilege to be covering up this gorgeous piece. But this one, the other side, coordinated with my cards so nicely, so. And by the way, I thought it was really nice of Stampin' Up! To decorate the entire room to coordinate with my presentation. Okay, so here is my card and envelope, and this is so pretty because of the paper. The paper is the superstar here. In this class, they can also make these cards. So again, the preparation is very simple. All you're doing is die cutting this piece and then this piece for them, several of each. And then you're going to provide the stamp and the ink. Very simple. So there's one. I've included some of the new sequins that go on here as well, and I use my liquid glue to adhere them. You can even use glue dots. Like I'm kind of a lazy stamper, so I like glue dots. Here's another piece. This is just a piece of black cardstock that I added behind. So really simple. This one also very simple. I stamped the Poppy in rich raspberry ink and just smeared it with my aqua painter. That's like professional watercoloring, right? And then this black piece is one of the dyes that coordinates with the set as well. And then here you can really jazz it up by adding, there's some clear wake of Stella on here. I'm trying to catch the glimmer in the camera, but it's not quite working. But you get the idea. And again, highlighting these papers is so easy to do on these larger sized cards. I would also include some of the smaller cards, because of course that comes in the card pack. And so those cards are gonna look like this. And these are really easy because the pieces are 3x4 inches of the DSP, which cuts evenly out of your cardstock as well. And then if they don't want to use this as their card, they can just put it on a quarter sheet of cardstock, and then they have a full-size card and everybody's happy. Okay, so that's my beginning class.
Rosie, stop shaking. Stop shaking. You're shaking the table.
Now, here's another card that's really simple to do. And this is going to be for more of your casual crafter. Or the people who are avid crafters. They buy like avid crafters, but they stamp like casual crafters. You know the type. Okay. So when preparing for this class, I had to take a little tip that actually my newest downline member, Chris, shared with us at an event recently that I held. She does a lot of craft fairs, and she's been making those super cute little Kirby Keepsakes mini boxes. And so she's been punching all the pieces so she can assemble them at the craft fair while she's waiting. And she put them all in one of these boxes. By the way, if you get it in section, the price is much better than if you buy it in the crafting section. Just saying.
Which section?
Okay, so what I did is I took and die cut a whole bunch of pieces in different colors from the sets of dies that are included in this mega suite, and then I just put them in this box so that when I went to make cards, it was really easy. I could just pull the different pieces, match them up, and it worked like a charm. So I'm gonna pull a couple of pieces out of here, except they're not in here. I had them ready to go. Okay. So on this card, I'm going to start with just a black card base. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White that has been embossed with the Stylish Scrolls embossing folder. So we'll adhere that to our card. And one thing I love about our liquid glue is if you don't quite get it in the right spot, you can move it around a little bit. All right. And I've cut a piece of white cardstock that I'm going to stamp one of my sentiments. And the great thing about the stamp set is there's so many sentiments to choose from. And it's literally every occasion you really could need. So I love that.
I do like that.
Okay.
Sentiments are nice.
So I'll stamp this at the bottom. And then, like I said, I die cut these 2 pieces. They were in my box yesterday during rehearsal, just so you know. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little line. Adhere them to the top and the bottom. And by the way, have you guys noticed that our new dies really cut better? Like they're sharper? I love them so much. Get the last little pieces out of here. Okay, so that looks pretty awesome. I'm going to then take and pop this up onto my card, because everything is better popped up, right? My team knows what I'm thinking right now.
That's what she said.
Okay, so we also have these designer elements, and what's really cool is this gives you beautifully colored images without having to do the work of coloring, which is kind of nice when you're in a hurry. They have a colored piece like this. There's also black pieces that are, like shiny. And then there's watercolor printed pieces, which are beautiful.
Oh my God.
See that? They're like clear embossed on watercolor paper, so you can just paint over them really easily. And then there's also a sheet of vellum images. Okay, so we're gonna take and combine a couple of those pieces to finish up this card really easily. So I'll just pop out a couple of the vellum pieces. I'll pop up my flowers here. Place that right there. Yeah, I didn't bring glue dots, but that's all right. I don't know if you guys knew this, but like 2/3 of stamping is improvising, so if you've ever watched any of my Facebook Lives, you know that is true. All right, and there's my finished card. Okay, let me share a few more examples of cards that I would do with my casual crafters. Okay, so look at that. Now, one thing I really like about doing classes like this is pulling in some other things from the annual catalog so that they have a really good reason to purchase more items from you that day at class. So this is the Heirloom Frames embossing folder, 3D embossing folder. And then I've done the black and white, and I also added some clear Wink of Stella. You can really see that shine on there. Isn't that beautiful? Of course, I'm also featuring my signature color, Coastal Cabana. It's the color that lets us know God loves us. Here's another really simple card. I have used the Scripty 3D embossing folder in the background, and then this was one of those black pieces out of those designer elements. And for this piece, I just stamped in Memento and colored with my blends. And the nice thing about this too is your coloring skills can be at about a kindergarten level and it'll still look good, so I like that. Okay, now for that class, I would include the stamp set, or the Peaceful Poppies bundle, the Peaceful Poppies elements, and I would charge $69 for my customers. That's based on my tax rate in Iowa. Now, if I'm offering that class online, I'm going to add a little bit more for the shipping to them because I'm going to create the cards, the pre-cut cardstock, and then I'll mail that with their bundle. So they can add the bundle if they want to that class. Or actually, they have to add the bundle because it's product-based class. When you're on camera, all of your brain power goes away, just in case you weren't sure about that. Okay, now for my Avid crafter, I'm going to hold a class that is going to be amazing. And that class is going to feature samples of the products I've done in my first 2 classes, but then we're also going to create some really impressive cards, because I gotta show them that I am a good professional stamper, right? Okay, so for this class, I'm gonna start with some really simple cards like this. I've cut a 4x6 piece of Whisper White cardstock, and then I've added 2 pieces of printed paper. Because again, we want to showcase both sides of that beautiful printed paper. And then I tied the ribbon on here. I did that ahead because you guys know how to do that, right? Okay. Now, I think the thing that Avid crafters really like is when you can give them some amazing tips that they might not have seen otherwise. And just like you guys as Avid crafters, I get Avid crafter tips myself. So this one comes from my good friend Connie Stewart. And she showed me this. I think it was one of her Tuesday tips of the week that she does. I think you probably have seen them, right? So I'm going to take my silicone craft mat. I squeezed a little bit of liquid glue. And then I have a sponge. This is a 1/6 of a sponge that I've cut up. And then I put a binder clip on it. Because you got to keep your nails nice. Let's be honest. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of even out the ink or the glue a little bit I'll put my die cut piece down here. This works for any kind of intricate die cut piece. Got just a little bit of liquid glue on there, you don't need much. And then we're gonna line this up to adhere. And look at, I'm not full of glue. So how awesome is that? Okay. Now to finish this card, and by the way, isn't the black and white so striking? Yes. I really, really like that. In preparing for my presentation, I went on Pinterest and looked up different types of poppies, like in real life, actual pictures of them. Because despite the fact that I have a degree in biology, I really am not a green thumb in any way, shape, or form. So I always like to make flowers the colors that are prettiest, not the colors that they actually are. But as it turns out, poppies come in an entire rainbow of colors, including white, so you can do whatever you want. All right, I'll put a couple of dimensionals on the back here. Because like I said, everything is better popped up.
That's what she said. Say it out loud.
We'll tack that on. We'll add our leaves in black, because it goes. I'm pretty sure I could make a leaf black at my house without much effort. Yeah. But it's supposed to be green, right? No one knows. Okay, then I'm just going to snip off my label and adhere it to my card. So, isn't that beautiful? Who doesn't like a little sparkle? So I think that really makes it pop, using the silver glimmer paper. All right, so let me show you a couple more examples. The color that lets us know God loves us. All right, we can throw a sentiment on here though. That'd be fine, right? So whenever I stamp cards, I like to use the sentiments that I need for things. So, you know, one of my team members will probably get this for one of their accomplishments, because it's a really pretty card that says congratulations, so it works, right? By the way, this is kind of funny. So when I got the stamp set, or the bundles, they thankfully sent me the catalog pages, because I looked at these pieces and I thought, well, what is that? No idea. But it was in the sample, so I could figure it out. Okay, here's a few more. Isn't that pretty? This paper is so beautiful, you guys. Look at that one. So having all these pre-cut pieces in that plastic divider box is so helpful to make cards quicker, right? Okay, this was another kind of simple but still striking. And then this is kind of like the jewel in my crown, right? There's that one. Okay, so let me show you how I did the center on this. I'll just take one of my pieces. Oh, look, I found I told you I had some in here. Okay. Now in the stamp set, there's a couple of pieces. There's this little image here, so I'm just gonna ink that up and stamp it off. And then I'll stamp it in the center of my picture. And it adds a little, did I just say the center of my picture? Center of my die cut. It just gives me a little bit of color, and then full strength, I'll take that kind of splattery image and just stamp that on there. Now when you layer that up with your die cut piece, it's got a little bit more dimension to it. And then of course the centers just really make everything pop so much. I love the pop of black. And then I just stamped a couple of the leaves at the bottom, so. Okay, now you guys get to stamp with this stamp set, so I'm really excited to show you your make and take. I know, right? Okay. So, well, hello out there. Okay, so in your packet, you've got a half a sheet of Pear Pizzazz, or no, Poppy Parade. It starts with a P, you know what I mean. All right. I'm gonna use Pear Pizzazz, so I'm like almost totally right. All right. I'm gonna take my Poppy Parade ink. I'm just gonna stamp that beautiful poppy kind of all over the background. Doesn't this just make you happy? Okay. Then I'm gonna take some Memento. Now, are you guys like me? I have a whole table to work with, and I have this much space available. The struggle is real. Okay. So I stamped Happy Birthday on this piece of Whisper White. I left some room at the top because we're going to add a really cool little ribbon piece, and then we're going to rip it. Okay, so I had a demonstrator on my team named Carmen. She was just the sweetest ever. And she used to make cards for her elderly mom. And if she ever crinkled paper or ripped paper, her mom thought they were like damaged. So we always joke about it. I love you, Carmen. Okay. Pear Pizzazz. We're going to take that white ribbon, and like any good stamper, we're going to make it a different color. So I'm going to take my Pear Pizzazz ink, and I'm just stamping on the ribbon. Ooh, I'm jiggling. By the way, can I just show you something? My earrings are poppies. I like to coordinate with my projects whenever possible. Okay, so I created this really cool speckled Pear Pizzazz ribbon. So now I'm just going to wrap it around my project and tie a bow. Pray for me while I tie a bow in front of 1,300 people. All right. Luckily, I'm a professional, so this should just be fine. Okay. Oh, I heard you, Dawn. Boop. Okay, it's legit. All right, trim that off, scooch it up. All right, let's come back to our card base. We've got 2 pieces of printed paper. Now, I'm not going to tell you which pieces to use, but the ones that match are going to be the green stripes. Let's put the glue on the back side of that one. How many times have you done that? All right, and you can get a little creative here. I'm going to put it at a little bit of an angle, and then put this at an angle. Because, you know, we are all here in the Creativity Cave, and we do not stifle creativity in the Creativity Cave. We also don't judge, so you can make them however you want. All right. I think I'm doing pretty good. I have pulled off a lot of dimensional backings successfully today during my presentation. All right, there we go. So this is your make and take. Have fun with it, and thank you guys so much for stamping with me today. I had a great time.